In this video, we are going to see how you can find partial derivative of z with respect to x and the partial derivative of z with respect to y when you are given z is equal to sine inverse of x, y. So to do that, multiply this equation here by sine both sides. We shall have sine of z to 1 times xy is xy. Then from here, we can easily take the partial derivative of z with respect to x. And how do we do that? So when you differentiate sine z, you are going to obtain cos of c, but now you multiply by the partial derivative of z with respect to x, which is equal to, when you differentiate xy with respect to x, the result will be y. Then from there, we divide both sides by cos of z, so that we will have partial of z with respect to x as equal to y divided by cos of z, which can be written as y multiplied by sec of z. Now, 1 over cos of z is the same as secant of sec z. Then we turn to differentiate, to take partial of z with respect to y. So it will be cos of z partial of z with respect to y, which is equal to, when you differentiate xy with respect to y, it will be x, meaning that partial of z with respect to y, it will be given by x divided by cos of z, which can be written as x sec of z. Why? Because 1 over cos z is the same as sec z. So that is how you obtain the partial derivative of this equation in those simple method steps. We can recap before we wind up this video. The first stage is you multiply by sine both sides, so that you do away with sine inverse. And when you do that, you shall have sine of z is equal to x, y. Then taking partial of z with respect to x, it will be cos of z multiplied by partial of z with respect to x, which is equal to y. Then from there, you have partial of z with respect to x by dividing by cos of z both sides, which is equal to y over cos of z. 1 over cos z is the same as sec z. Then finally, partial of z with respect to y will be cos of z multiplied by partial of z with respect to y, which is equal to x. Then you divide it by cos of z both sides, so that you have x is equal to sec of z. So that is how you obtain the partial derivative of that equation in the simple method steps. So try to do this at your own time. When you are given z is equal to cos inverse of xy, try to obtain partial of z with respect to x and the partial of z with respect to y at your own time, and let me know the result. Bye bye for now. See you in the next video as we keep on learning.